So, today, lads, was the third and fourth place playoff in the Olympics. One of the most important games in all of basketball, surprisingly enough, for a lot of these players, because winning a medal for your country, as long as you're not American, is as big as an NBA title. I'm not going to lie, Jokic, if Jokic won gold with Serbia, he becomes top 10 player in the world. But Team USA pulled it out of the bag. But today we're going to be talking about a little bit about the third and fourth place playoff. I didn't catch much of it because I was watching Leeds. I was watching us freaking nearly lose to Portsmouth. But they did come out bronze with the bronze medal, and huge. Absolutely huge. It was a very, very, very impressive game. And they did extremely well to win against a German team, and especially because Serbia weren't anything special at the start of the Olympics. I didn't think that they were coming into it looking great. I thought initially when I was looking at the Serbia team that Nikola Jokic was going to be bigger, and then when I saw them playing in those pre-Olympic games, I think they beat France, but France are going to get embarrassed tonight. They're going to get embarrassed tonight. But Serbia obviously went and blitzed them early. Germany tried to come back, but it was over. It was over. I didn't see much of the game at all, but Nikola Jokic with a triple-double, and what the fifth triple-double in the history for Germany. I thought Franz might have been a shout of... I think Franz is probably going to make the all-tournament team. I don't know which of Franz or Schroeder is going to make it, but the all-tournament team is going to be LeBron James, Cordinier probably. One of Cordinier or Yabusele. It'll be LeBron, Cordinier, Jokic, probably Franz, and then either Wembanyama or Steph Curry. It's going to be one of those for all tournament teams. Maybe Anthony Edwards. Whoever is the MVP of the Olympics final. Because if the USA win it, which they're going to win, LeBron is the MVP. LeBron has been the most consistently good player for this team. But again, Jokic with 19 points, 12 rebounds. What was his assists? He had 11 assists. Crazy game. Absolutely crazy game. And nearly averaging a triple-double. And do you know how hard that is to do in the Olympics? And not only that, if you're saying he's the team wasn't that great. They didn't win the Olympics. It doesn't really matter if you don't win. The only person that would say that is an American and maybe an Englishman. A bronze medal is a bronze medal. Most athletes, the highest peak is clearly obviously Olympic gold. But for most people, second most impressive thing is an Olympic silver. Then it's Olympic bronze because it's the height of competition and you're representing your country. It's obviously a bit different in team sports. But for all these players dream of winning with their country more so than they dream of winning an NBA title, especially Jokic. There's no way Jokic, who was the chubby 14-year-old, grew up thinking he was going to win an NBA championship. He grew up probably reluctantly playing basketball and was interested in horses. And playing for his country, even though he wanted to take a rest for the season. At the end of the day, your body's the most important thing. But the fact that he came out in the Olympics and played like this, look, I think he probably should be MVP. He's not going to get it because they will very rarely give MVP to someone who doesn't win the competition or at least get to the final. But I think he should be MVP because I don't think there's anyone on the French team that deserves MVP. I don't think Cordinier deserves MVP. I don't think Yabusele deserves MVP. I don't think Wemby deserves it. And no one else for France has really been. Matthias Lezorb's been good, but not unbelievably good. So I don't think any of the French players are going to get it. It's going to be LeBron. But the craziest part is that everybody's saying people box score watched the USA-Serbia game and were like, Jokic he wasn't even Serbia's top two player. It was actually Amramovic and Bogdanovic. He wasn't even the top scorer. How was he carrying his team? And I'm like, they literally ran every single thing through Jokic. It didn't matter where it was. It wasn't even just the assist. They were like, oh, he only had 70 and 5 assists. The amount of hockey assists, every single open three that Amramovic shot was pretty much gotten to him by Jokic seeing a double team and just having eyes in the back of his head and hitting him, or giving it to a wing and then passing it. Individual play is not the way Serbia played. They played everything through Jokic. And ironically, I feel like they probably played a better brand of basketball in the World Cup run, but they were just obviously better with Jokic. Jokic is the best player in the world. He's the best player in this tournament. And I think that's the difference between Jokic and a Luka. And that's the one thing that I'm, post-Olympics, I'm seeing with Luka from Slovenia is I think Luka is no longer capable of playing the way he did at Real Madrid. I think he's no longer capable of like fitting into a team and not being the system. Jokic can do whatever the hell you want him to do. Jokic literally does everything. He does every single thing on the floor. He plays defense. Like, he doesn't block shots, and he doesn't look like he's the quickest defender. He plays defense. He passes. He's one of the best screen setters I've seen. His positional sense is unbelievable. His touch is great. His gravity. He's the best player in the world. And I think the Olympics showed it because everybody around him, there's nobody that... Making everybody around you better is not a thing that happens. That's not a thing in basketball. But what you can do is you can give everybody around you more open shots. And Jokic does that better than anyone I've seen. And I watch prime LeBron James. I watch prime LeBron, who I believe is the greatest ever. I still think LeBron, peak for peak, is better than Jokic because LeBron at his peak was the best defender in the world. I think peak for peak, Steph Curry's probably better than Jokic because, again, Steph was just... The gravity that he had, he's probably the only player I could say freed up their teammates more than this current version of Jokic. And obviously too young for MJ. But like peak for peak, I'd take him over Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant, we saw. Kevin Durant's the better ISO scorer. One possession to go if you want a bucket, Kevin Durant. But if you want somebody that will raise the floor of everybody, we saw Jamal Murray with Canada. We've seen what he does to these Nuggets players. How much better they look with him. Like, KCP was good with LA. He was good with LA. He's going to be good in Orlando. Jokic made him look like one of the best 3-and-D players in the damn league. I don't think MPJ, with the way that he plays basketball right now, is good anywhere. I think Jokic has proved that he is the best in the world. And I also think, in general, that Nikola Jokic... He's not the MVP because obviously you give the MVP to someone, a winner, or at worst case scenario, a team in the final. But he was the best player in this tournament by quite a bit. And this is somebody who has not been exceptional for his country. This is somebody who the last time he played for his country, he was coming off the bench. Like, or did he... I don't know if he played in Eurobasket, actually. But the last time before COVID in 2019, he was coming off the bench for Boban. So that may be the second last time he played for his country. He's not been a good performer at the international level. And he has had one of the greatest international tournaments of all time, as far as individual players are concerned. Maybe the greatest. If they won the Olympics, he would have had the greatest, and I mean that, international performance, including Manu Ginobili. Including what he did. Because Manu did not come up against this America team. If they had won that game, it would be the greatest tournament performance in history of basketball. So, is he the MVP? Will he win the MVP? No. Has he been the best player in this tournament? Of course.